Assalamualaikum and good morning. So we can start our session for today for the first speaker for today. So I introduce you to our moderator for today, Nur Alia. Okay, please introduce yourself.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Alia Tasha binti Nabi, and I will be serving as your moderator for today.
Okay, insyaAllah. Can you hear me?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to all of you. So today is our third day of Accounting Global Week 2023. And please welcome to all the lecturers and students from University Technology Mara Perlis branches and our collaborating university from Universitas Sumatera Utara, Universitas Erlangga, Universitas Islam Riau and Raja Manggala, University of Technology Sriwijaya. My name is Nur Alia Tasha binti Nabi, and I will be serving as your moderator today. You'll be hearing a presentation from Mr. Makhtar, okay, on this very timely subject. But before we get started, I want to take a few minutes of your time. Okay, so for today, I will introduce you to the profile of our speaker for today. So let us get to know him. For your information, Mr. Makhtar is one of our alumni in UiTech Perlis. With legal and accounting background, he had the opportunity to get some hands-on exposure in finance, corporate turnaround, and international marketing covering various industries. Islamic banking and Shariah advisory were always his subject of interest compared to other assignments he has been exposed to for the past 25 years. He had the experience of restructuring local and international entities and working closely with various stakeholders from regulatory bodies, industry players, corporate entities, and academicians. Currently, he is a CEO. Currently, he is a CEO at Association of Shariah in Islamic Finance, an affiliate of ANM for Shariah Fraternity Certification and Capacity Building. So next, Associate Research Fellow Industrial Aspect and Board of Study for few local university in Malaysia, moderating in various international conference seminar in Asia Pacific and Middle East, including special dedicated program at Bank Negara Malaysia. He has been invited as a committee member in various initiatives, including IFRS conversion, capital market development, Shariah governance review, and Islamic finance curriculum. And he also a working group member for FINTECH Commit, Accounting and Auditing Organization for Islamic Financial Institution. So I want to tell to you guys one fun fact about Mr. Makhtar Abdullah. As we want to know, Mr. Makhtar, Accounting Global Week 2023 is Mr. Makhtar's second participation as guest presenter. During Accounting Global Week 2022, Mr. Makhtar presented a very interesting topic titled Street Smart UiTM Graduate that has involved 126 online participants on the WebEx platform, and until 17 May 2023, total viewers on YouTube were 1,418. So let us congratulations to Mr. Makhtar for his contribution to student career guidance. Now moving along to our section, please welcome Mr. Makhtar Abdullah, who will be speaking to us on today's session titled Accountancy Has My Career Toolkits. So with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, let us start our session today.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Thank you very much. Nur Alia Haziq Tasha Muhammad Nawi. Wow. It's a very long name. Alhamdulillah. I hope you can hear me clearly from your end. Yeah. We have tried the connection earlier. It was good. I'm sorry that I didn't have the chance to put the program backdrop at the moment, and I just choose Kuala Lumpur where I am now as the background. Yeah. Okay. Madam Fazni and the committee member for Accounting Global Week 2023. My good friend, Madam Salwana Slamat. I think he's somewhere. I think, yeah, I saw her. She looks the same. Madam Salwana Slamat, my very, very, I don't want to say old friend, my very, very good friend since 1979. Long way. Thank you for inviting me and let me be part of this event for the second year. As mentioned by Nur Alia just now, I'm the alumni of UITM Perlis. It was ITM then when I completed my diploma in accountancy back in 1984 to 1986. It was a long time ago as well. I tried to do CIMA, Institute of Chartered Management Accountant in Shah Alam in 1987, but I didn't proceed. When the pound escalate to almost triple than whatever I have in my saving. So I can't afford to proceed for CIMA. So for this session, I will just try to share something on the topic given as well as on the allocated time. So Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Yeah. I hope we can enjoy the session. You can stop me at any point. You don't have to wait until I finish my program or my slide. But promise to ask simple question, and so that I will try my best to answer. Otherwise, I think we have almost full faculty lecturers with us today. I think they can also help me to clarify some answer or some question that maybe I'm out of touch from the accountancy career or accountancy path. I completed my accountancy diploma in 1986, and I proceed to read law LLB in 1995 to 1999, and after that, as in Malay called Mahasiswa, I completed my masters recently. Yeah, I did my master in Islamic banking on a topic of conversion. And again, as I said, I'm a bit of touch from the accountancy. I hope Salwana and the team and the lecturer can assist me to clarify some answer later on this accountancy field. Okay, let us move to the first slide. Oops, sorry. Okay, all right. So technically, this is I only have 4 slides. Don't worry, I will not take much of your time. I only have 4 slides for today. If we can have some interactive session, for example, your understanding of accountancy. What do you understand about accountancy from your perspective? Sometimes some of the students apply other programs. They apply engineering, they apply other subjects, but they end up being asked to take degree in accountancy. I'm sure there are some portion of the participants were in that shoes, you know. And by the time they proceed to the first year and the second year, they still don't understand what is accountancy all about. Is that just beyond debit and credit, asset, liability, income, expenses, so on and so forth. So the accountancy that you are in now is basically more on the academic features, so the educational. Sometimes I had a chance to glance through the syllabus for accountancy student. So they still talk about accountancy. They still have some subject on management, some subject on economics, some subject on marketing. Quite a fair subject, I think, for you ITM Perlis. You are in diploma of system IT as well. It is not just so much of accountancy, right? Alia, you are in accounting and also IT, right?
Yes.
Yes? No?
Sir.
Betul? Betul?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So not so much of accounting. How lucky you are to be in this generation, because during our days, we have a green screen, we have a dot printer that will take about a few hours for us to calculate something. Now it's just by a blink. Okay. Looking at then I was looking at the sample of the question papers that you will normally ask in your examination. So in your examination, I think the slide, let's share the slide. In the examination, sometimes your question basically asks about your requirement to comply into the accounting standard. You are also asked to comply to certain law or guidelines, be it MFRS or IOFI standard or other accounting standard. You are also being asked to understand accounting and apply accounting according to the methods, certain methods. You are asked to prepare a report. You are also asked sometimes to calculate the profit, the losses, the ratio sometimes. In your study life as well, they ask you to do prepare a documentation, certain documentation, certain control system, and also you may have to calculate certain ratios. But to me, that is just a very solid foundation.
Ya
That
Allah
is
ya
enough
Tuhan
for you.
aku. Berapa minit dah aku break kelas?
Ya Allah ya Tuhan. Okay. Amin. Boleh mengucap lagi okey lah tu. Ya Allah ya Tuhanku. But never mind. The accounting that you cover during your study life is just more about academic background, which basically enough for you to use that as a basic tool for your future moving forward. So now we go on the second part, where it talk about the plain accountancy practices. If you were to continue from your qualification, sometime some of you decided to take degree, proceed to take master, PhD or professional and become the lecturer. That is fine. Some even decided to go into a closely related accountancy or accounting career. You become the auditor, you become finance manager, you become CFO, you become account clerk, you become stock, whatever. Something which I call something that are related to your qualification. Some even venture enough to grab whatever, not just the Grab driver, grab whatever opportunity that come across. You know, they decided to become teacher, become ustazah, become whatever opportunity that cross in front of them. During my days in 1980, 86, 80, 85, 86, the economy was not so good then. So some of my friends end up become warden in the prison. So I asked them, what accounting that you apply in your daily life? Oh, Makhtar, I make sure that all the prison are balanced in their cells, you know. If they have to be 10 in that cell, or must be 10, and they have to be 15 in another cell. So we make sure that they are balanced. Okay, I said that is at least application of accountancy as a warden in a prison. I have a friend also who end up become a few friends end up become a police officer. They are holding quite a high ranking position now. Some even retired. But again, that basically based on accountancy background that they have or they graduated. Some even end up in commercial crime in the police department or in certain government agency that also utilize their accountancy academic qualification or background. But there are people who end up say no. After they graduated from accounting, accountancy is not my cup of tea. I still cannot understand debit and credit. And to share with you, one of my friends discovered that he is colorblind. About 2-3 years after he joined a bank. Before that, he didn't know that he was a colorblind. So imagine, when they discovered that he is colorblind, he was sacked from the bank because he can't differentiate between 50 ringgit and 100 ringgit beyond the numbers or beyond the colors. All right. So you will go through a normal process with your academic background, going through your accountancy or accounting practices. But at this point, you will have to decide whether accountancy is just one of your two. Either it's a screwdriver or it's a spanner or it's a hammer or whatever. Or you have already picked up a certain skill set. You are able to talk to people. You are able to convince people. You are able to solve people problem. You are able to find the problem in the institution. I don't know whether I should say that this is my personal experience or stories that I collected from my friends along the way, my 30 years of working. There was a situation whereby Mr. A, I don't want to give his name. Mr. A was given an audit report of a company. So when he was given an audit report, the shareholder said, we have to close this company because it's making losses for the last 2 years. So he said, okay, hang on. Let me go into the factory and have a look. What happened and how come this company making losses? So at this point of time, he moved beyond accountant or accountancy professional. He went into the company and said, okay, looking at the balance sheet, looking at the profit and loss, he realized that one of the major losses reason for the company is the maintenance, the high maintenance cost of the factory. So he went and see the chief mechanics of the factory. The guy was big, very muscular, like a wrestler. Nobody there to talk to him. I can call him, or I can use other name of him now, called Pak Ya, a simple name. So he approached Pak Ya and he asked Pak Ya why the company is making losses, contributing by your high maintenance costs. So Pak Ya just say that, Ali, I only study up to standard 6. I don't know mechanic, I don't know technical. They asked me to repair this expensive machine. They don't even give me tools. So they asked me to open. I only have hammer. So I broke the machine. I broke the part so that I can see what happened inside the part. So I said, alamak, Pak Ya, if you destroy the part, then how can we repair? Oh well, he said, I asked for a new replacement part, which sometimes will take weeks or months and delay the operation. To him, that was his solution. But that solution caused the company making losses tremendously. So what I suggested to the company was to move him to another position. So we promoted him to become the chief security of the factory. You know, with his big size, his tall order, and muscular. So he was in charge of the whole factory safety. Everybody wear nice uniform. Everybody wear proper shoes. Everybody know when to come in and when to go out. Nobody can simply take out anything from the factory. So along the way, on the second year, we noticed that the company start to cut the losses. The company start to make some profit, and on the second year, the company make more profit. So we bring in a proper technician, we bring in a proper mechanical teams that solve the maintenance issue and escalate the production of the factory, produce a proper product, and so on and so forth. So as an accountant, you can take off your accounting hat or uniform and go into on the ground and talk to the people and understand why the figures in the account need to be changed, either for losses or for profit purposes, and so on and so forth. And another situation, I was given a set of account by a friend who told me that, Makhtar, I've just bought the company. I supposed to turn around the company to make it profit. The company was in Malacca, factory in Malacca. So I said, okay, let me have a look at the account. Enjoyably reading the accounting, the financial statement, like reading novel from cover to cover, line to line. And I discovered that the company is supposed to make profit. The company is in a good shape. The company have a very good prospect. So I said, okay, let me go down to the factory and have a look. So when I went to the factory, I noticed that there are certain inconsistencies between the financial report and the reality of the factory that he bought. So I said, okay, can I spend more time in the factory? He said, okay, by all means, stay and do whatever and try to find out whatever that you can find out from the factory that I bought. And I discover a few important machines that missing from the factory. I also discover that the payment was not really coming into the account as recorded. The expenses was escalated beyond the report even. So then having that findings, learning from what, sometimes it is good, you know, those are the reality that you look beyond the question paper that you used to see. During your examination, you are only given 3 hours for 4 questions that you're supposed to resolve. But in reality, sometimes you were given months or weeks to go through the reality, to talk to people, to understand the process and everything. So this is where I said you have to decide whether you want to stick into holding just a screwdriver or holding a hammer, or you say, okay, along the way you pick up other tools, and by the time you are matured and the time you move on, you have a bag or a box of toolkits that you can use for many things. You are more hands-on, you are more versatile, you are transformed, you know. I'm sorry if there are, I'm sure, I don't know how many participants already in the session at the moment. I saw about 60 earlier, and I think half or majority of the accountancy students are female. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, majority of the accountancy students are female, because ladies or female tend to be very calculative. I also have to tell something which is not so nice to hear. Female auditors are difficult to have a husband. I don't know whether this is reality or not, but when we talk to friends, they say, why you don't marry to auditor? Susah lah, Makhtar. Quite difficult, They audit me every time. They ask me where I go, who I met, what I eat, how I spend my money, so on and so forth. So for ladies, accountancy student, be careful. If you are an auditor, later on, don't audit your husband. Don't audit your family. Keep the accountancy as your career, but don't bring that accountancy or auditing skill set at home. You can be a good accountant by making the family profitable. Not to say profitable, but you a lot of saving. You create the value of the family. That much better than just become the auditor at home and also auditor in the office. Don't scare your husband. Even for the male, you don't scare your wife and start asking them, I give you money, where you spend the money. You have to prepare your financial report every week or every month. Otherwise, I will not top up your accounts or whatever. Sometimes you get carried away with your qualification, and also you get carried away in your behavior. So don't mix up the reality. Well, as I said, I like to be santai-santai, or in the Malay word, or just relax in this my sharing session. But that's the reality. There were also instances whereby I came across a friend who have quite a lot of money. So he had about 30 million. He said, Makhtar, I have 30 million and I want to invest. Can you help me to invest my money to make sure that I can make profit? So that was never come out in my question exam in my study life. Someone with money and said, okay, invest my money, make sure that I don't make loss, I don't owe people, and let's one thing good about him, he asked me to set up a tahfiz school. Said, okay, this is a portion of my money. I want to. Can you help me to set up a tahfiz school? So we teach tahfiz student beyond just memorizing Al-Quran. So during the break time, we brought some cattle, we brought some goods, and teach them how to become farmers. So when they completed their study, at least they know how to value the money. Yeah. So along the way, you must be able to differentiate between your academic qualification, between your academic performance, and you move on into the real life. Either you try to adapt, or either you try to choose straight away that no, I'm not accounting, I'm not going to do accountancy, and study law and become a lawyer, become an engineer. I have a few friends, of course, who their background accountancy, and as I say, end up become warden in the prisoner. They become police officer. What else? Technical engineers. He's very good. The boss like him very much because not only he can identify the machine and everything, he's very calculative, and the company always winning the project and make more profit. So imagine that the accountancy is just one of your tools, and you along the way you catch up with other tools, and you have your tool kits, your toolbox. The more toolbox, the better. You never know when you want to use the small part of the tools. All right. Let's go to my next slide. This is my third slide. Okay. This is my third slide. All right. Okay. So we now go towards the realities. Yeah. or the reality of life. At first, accountancy as your basic qualification, and along the way with your diploma, with your degree, you add up with IT qualification, and you decide whether you want to take accountancy as your career path. If you do so, it's okay to make a U-turn along the way. After 5 years, after 10 years, you say, no, enough of counting people's money, enough of balancing between debit and credit. You want to do something else, move on. If you ask for my advice, I'm from different generation. You are in different generation. You were born in I think most of you were born in 95 or maybe late 90s or early 2000. Yeah, you are early 20s or mid 20s now. The way you brought up, the way you went through your life, the numbers or the size of information that come to you are different from how I grew up, or maybe some of your lecturer or your academic trainers grew up. So we can give you a tool, we can give you some basic knowledge, and you are the one that have to carry forward with the basic tool and decide what you want to be. Okay, going on point number 2, you graduate, you have your career path, you add your study and working. Inshallah, you should be able to get a proper job matching and stability. But I also would like to remind myself and everyone that there are lessons learned in the accountancy that you should carry forward and be part of your personality as well. We read the news that some auditors, some accountants, some CFO are caught for taking bribes, caught for wrongly utilized or wrongly presented accounts. So these people are not accountable. They learn something, but they don't make sure that they don't have, I would say, at certain point, the issue of accountability in their life. Some people are not accountable to their friends, their family, not accountable to their surrounding. So those are the issue that sometimes you can have a mix of personality. Okay, in accountancy as well, you learn about balance. So in your lifestyle, you don't only balance accounting, you balance your lifestyle. You have a balanced life, you know, you work, you sleep, you have friends, and also you, of course, you as a Muslim, you become a good Muslim. You learn about accounting, about making profit. You don't be biased, only whatever that profitable to you, okay, you get involved. But whatever that are not profitable to you, you don't get involved. That is not nice. So try to apply accounting terminology. You learn about share value. So in your life, you also have to increase your share value. You also have to make sure that you are not making losses. You don't waste your time. You don't waste your life to the point that you have no value at all. You know, people, you have nothing to report in your life sometimes, you know, because you don't have any activity. Maybe later on during the question and answer session, we will come across people who have more preference to the costing, management accounting rather than financial accounting or auditing. So along the way, you have to choose whether you are good in costing, you are good in accounting, you are good in auditing, you are good in whatever field that you can use from, or you can excel from your accountancy background. Nothing wrong for you to change the path as what you are doing on your daily life. You take different route. You have ways, that tell you turn left, turn right, but sometimes you disobey ways. You turn, you don't move. One day maybe the wave will also able to tell you that, hey, I tell you to turn left, not right. How can you drive when you don't even know left or right, for example? But those are the things. Life is not as simple as whatever structured in the ways when you choose the direction from point A to point B. They give you 5 routes. This will take you 20 minutes. This will take you 25 minutes. This will take you more distant or shorter distance. Life is not just that. Ways is just part of the guidance. IT is just part of the tool, and you have to decide yourself whether you should turn during the red lights, or you should even stay dreaming when the light turn green. Okay, all right. Some of you must be wondering, what is this guy talking about? But this is okay. This is part of the using accountancy as the tool. All right. Then we go to the next point, number 3. Along the way, you will face internal challenges. When you work, your bosses are not kind enough like your lecturer. They give you a chance to receive the paper. Sometimes before exam, they give you a hint, a topic or a question that can come out. So they say maybe they don't like to see your face anymore. Graduate and go away. And for example, but in your life, your bosses sometimes are not that kind, are not that friendly. One day they can be very nice to you. They say, okay, let's go for breakfast. The next day they say, we go for breakfast, you pay for me, or along the way, they have their own problem, you have your own problem. The internal challenges could be your internal challenges, personality, or your internal as your family, as your community, as a person. The external challenges varies. When I was growing up, I used to hear the word, the worst case scenario. I'm sure you have heard that word as well. I think to me at the moment, the worst case scenario is what happened during the COVID, the MCO. Thing doesn't work, everything just stopped. If I were to imagine, if I were to share the word worst thing scenario, that reflects the worst thing, the worst case scenario during the COVID, the last 2 years. So I also realized that people stop because they don't have additional tools during the COVID. The best example are the pilot, for example. Their only day-to-day life, their ambition when they're young until they grow up, they just want to be pilot. I know a pilot who cannot even ride a motorbike. I told him, why every day you piggyback your dad? You are a pilot, but you cannot even ride a motorbike. The father said he can't balance himself on a motorbike, but he can fly wide body 737 aircraft internationally. So you have to reflect yourself clearly of what you want to be. Accountancy could be just one of the tools. Accountancy could be a beginning of your life. Accountancy could be the basic structure of your personality. So move on. Be accountable to yourself. Be accountable to the environment and also your loved one. And of course, as a Muslim, you don't want to end up making losses. Yeah, you want to become a good person. That you focus on the iman and the aman. So that's supposed to be your guideline rather than other standard accounting or accountancy guideline. So from now on, I think you should be able to have a short-term plan, what you want to do. Maybe when you completed your diploma, you want to proceed with your degree, and you aim to do your master or to become a PhD. I'm sure some of the lecturer are someone that you put as a figures that, oh, I want to be, for example, like Puan Salwana, you know, she is your figure that you want to be in your lifetime, or you take Puan Fazni, your lecturer, as your figure that you want to be in future. So nothing wrong with that. So just move on, and of course, as a Muslim, Prophet Nabi Muhammad SAW is always our example. Take him as an example, follow his path, obey his word, as well as be a good Muslim and take Al-Quran as your references. So don't stop at your long-term plan. You must make sure that you have your akhirat plan. Along the way, you must be sure that you are not making losses. Banyak dosa, you have more dosa than pahala. You must have a profitable pahala and go into syurga, insyaAllah. Yeah. All right. Now we go to the last slide. It's 45 minutes now. The last slide is that the challenge for you is to be adaptability. There are tools that can use very flexible. You can use it to unscrew things. You can use that to open up things. You can use that to make holes. You can use certain tool to survive. If you were to have that one tool, you will survive everywhere, almost everywhere. Yeah. But to become a wise person, sometimes you have your own toolbox. You don't have a proper set, or maybe you can't afford due to your life limitation and everything. You can't afford to buy expensive one gadget for all. So keep collecting your own tools and keep it nicely, because you never know when you want to use the tool. The third one is also you need to have a relevant, you need to become a relevant contributor in your life, either to your family, to your loved one, to your society, to your faculty, to whoever that become part of your life. Because at the end of the day, even though we're going to have a friend or digital twin in a metaverse, you are still the Khalifa of the universe. That is something that you have to always remember. People are talking about metaverse and universe, and you yourself, regardless whether you are female or male, you're supposed to react as the Khalifa in the world, in the real universe. So on my last reminder, if you have assembled your kit or toolkits, or make sure that you arrange it properly. Keep it clean, keep it updated, store it in the nice place, because you never know when you will use, when you need those tools. But of course, along the way, you might pick up other people's tools as well, because you are not alone in the world. So you will need to get to know people that have other expertise, that have other skill set, that also have other tool set that you might want to use. I'm a bit worried. I told my children, I told my relative that I'm worried when phone is like a drug. You eat, you sleep, I don't know whether you are in the bathroom with your phone as well, but it's just like a drug. You hang on to that very much, and you forget about your surrounding. You eat with 4 people, and 4 people are in different world. One in TikTok, one in Facebook, one in LinkedIn, one in I don't know what. But they are on the same table sometimes. So this is something that is worried me and also my generation, because we don't see you as a community sometimes. Of course, when you play games with someone from Africa or from Japan or from Korea or from anywhere in the world, but those are your virtual friends. No touch, no feel, no sentimental feelings or whatever. But along the way, be human. Don't be robots. You know, you have a community to live. You have a people. You have friends around you. You have your loved one that always hoping for you to fall back, as well as hoping for you to become their shoulder to cry sometimes. You know, you cannot cry to a friend digitally. Or maybe I came across an article that few people in some country married to the phone, because to them the phone understand them better. By looking at their face, the phone play certain song. The phone even tell a story for them to sleep. I said, MashaAllah, what happened to the world? We are talking about the current generation. I don't know what happened to the next generation, you know. But be yourself and enjoy life. Syukur, of course, you have to count the blessing that Allah gave to you. Not many people that able to do accountancy. Not many people can understand about accountability, about balanced life, about cut losses and everything. So I think I almost cover about 1 hour of the session. I think we leave it to another second part of the session for question and answer. I think that's okay. Alia, I don't know. I should call you Nor Alia, Hazika, or Alia, or
You can call me Alia, sir.
okay, Alia. All right. So can I hope I've covered my presentation. And then or sharing, not much of teaching. We can move on to the simple question and answer session. Yeah. My fellow friend lecturers, be prepared to help me to answer the question as well. I don't know everything.
Okay. So since we have a limited time now, now let us open for the Q&A session. For the student, if you have a question, you can type on the chat bar or open the microphone to ask the question. So,
All right. Question. Azni, you want to read the question? I mean, Alia, you want to read the question, or I think I received a few questions already.
okay, sir. Okay, first question. I want to be a forensic accountant, specialized in the practice area of accounting that investigate whether firms engage in financial reporting misconduct. Is there any specific requirement to achieve my goal?
Okay. Good question. Forensic accounting is something like a doctor. When you complete your accountancy, when you complete your medical school, so you just a normal doctor, and for you to become a surgeon, you need to go for another program to be specialized. Same goes to the accountancy as well. If you want to become a forensic accountant, first you must be very good in accountancy. Accounting, you must have a nose, you know, a nose that can smell wrong figure, rotten input in the accounts. So you must be able to know that looking at the financial statement, looking at the institution, you notice that there's something not matched. The company is looking so good, but in accounting, the company is making losses, or vice versa. So that is skill number one. Number two, you must be able to understand which area that you want to spot on. For example, some forensic accountant is talking about taxation. People from LHDN, they are forensic accountant team that will going deep into your accounting statement. Sometimes they know that you are under declared your profit, and you pay lesser tax. So they try to understand about your costing and profit structure. How come this size of company only making this size of profit? So you can go into any area. You must be strong in auditing, strong in accountancy, accounting, strong in auditing, and at a certain point as well, you must be able to understand the reality. I came across a situation during my early days in accountancy that a company that have five set of accounting books, one for the board director, one for the bank, one for the office, and one for, I think, their own usage. So these 5 set of accounting books are basically used for different purposes. They use they show a very nice accounting report to the board director, so that the board will declare a bonus and dividend for them. The second part of account given to the bank those days, just to show that the company is eligible for financing and enough to pay certain amount of financing. And the story goes a long way. You must be able to understand accounting very deep. If I were to suggest, maybe you should spare a few years of your time as an auditor. That will make you a very good forensic accountant. Yeah, I hope I answered the question. Yeah, all right, next.
Okay, thank you, sir. And there is question on the chat box from Aiman Hardi. Assalamualaikum, sir. Can you explain the specific areas where accountants with IT skill have an advantage over those without IT skill?
Okay. Again, IT is just a tool, another tool. Yeah. You must be able to grab the information that you gather from the IT space. Of course, if you have a very excellent level of using Excel, for example, that is very good for accountancy as compared to people who are not that well versed in Excel. Yeah? So they are echo, right? Okay. There are career paths that sometimes Lina, I think you have to mute your speaker at the moment. Okay, sorry. Okay. Okay, never mind. The IT skills that you okay, for a very simple example is that when you are strong in IT skill, you must be able to prepare a proper report and also doing analytics. Those days we have problems to open up ledgers and journals because there were no one place information or data center. But now if you are strong in IT, that's the way world are moving. Accounting treatment are based on accounting software, analytics as well based on the IT spectrum. So I don't think there are any areas that would allow you to go in later on if you don't have any basic IT skill. That's how the world are moving on. I hope I answer your question, Aiman. Nor Nazlinda, if I want to become an auditor, is it important to learn IT? Of course, no choice. No choice. When you go to audit firm, when you do accounting now, I think as I mentioned, you need to have ability to understand accounting software. They don't go on books, they don't write journals anymore. All are in accounting system. So you have to understand the accounting chart. It started with the chart of account, and then it goes to the accounting software, and garbage in, garbage out. If you wrongly entered the transaction, the result of the account is also wrong. Sir Makhtar,
Okay,
it's
sir.
like I think I received the award from the new king of UK. I'm now Sir Makhtar.
Okay. The
Do,
third question. Thank you,
do
sir.
you
Sorry.
do you have some tips on
From
how?
Shifa.
Okay.
From
Do
Shifa.
you have?
Assalamualaikum, Sir Makhtar. Do you
Okay.
have some tips? How do we train our major skill of accountancy in adapting with the new industry now?
The new industry. It depends on the, well, there are few components of industry that you can focus on. For example, you want to focus on service industry, you want to focus on production industry, you want to focus on the sales industry. The industry is very wide. So depending, it's like when you eat, when you eat Chinese food, noodles, you can use chopstick, or you can use fork and spoon. When you want to, you cannot use your hand to eat noodles, except for people from Johor. They eat laksa with their hand, I think. Yeah, okay. But in most cases, the tools and the usage must be competent. So I cannot tell you one, I cannot give you one pill or one formula or one answer that allow you to train. Some skill set come through your experience. If you go in, you learn something, and then you come out, you have the scratches and the scar, and then you move on to another industry, you have another scratch and the scar, and that makes you stronger and wiser sometimes. Yeah. All right.
Okay,
Muhammad.
sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Fourth question is from Muhammad Zunurain. How can we be ensure if we pursue further in accounting gonna grant us with a future job, or it just depend on luck? Doesn't we waste 6 to 7 years to hold an accounting degree just to depend on luck when applying for work? If only by luck, do we really need to have a ACCA certificate so that our path or career finally secure?
I don't have answer to that. I don't have answer to that. One day you become accountant, one day you become lecturer, another day you become housewife. One day you become accountant. As I mentioned earlier, the worst case scenario that demonstrated during the COVID times trigger a lot of concern about the career. The emergence of the ChatGPT will, and also the metaverse, and also the IoT, Internet of Things, will take away a lot of career as well. But there are careers that still require human touch. There are careers that still require human sense of decision making. So we have Tun Dr. Mahathir. He was a doctor, medical doctor, and become a prime minister. We have now the PMX. Background is, I think, Islamic study or Malay, become a prime minister. So it's not a surprise for an accountant to become accountant forever. Yeah? No. The answer is yes and no. But as you want to go along deeper into accountancy field, grab a tool that will take you into accountancy field. So it's okay to study ACCA. If I can advertise a bit, there are opening for application under Yayasan Peneraju. The closing date, I think, is on 20th June. 20th June, yeah, 20th June. For those who want to apply for professional qualification, they have ACCA, they have CFA, they have chartered marketing. You look at Yayasan Peneraju website, and look for professional qualification. They will sponsor your study. Go for it, go for it. I hope I answer your question.
Yes, thank you, sir. The question from Nurul Amira. I have a question. If one day technology is too updated and they don't need human to do accountant work to save budget, what else can we do with our account knowledge? It is easy to open our own company.
Well, it is easy to have your own company. Sometimes when you have your own company, you go beyond accounting. As I said earlier, crossing the path, you must be able to communicate with people. Sometimes you must be able to advise people in the sense that they should just close the company down. The company are not making profit anymore. You just advise people to close down the company. Sometimes you can advise people in the sense that you tell people that you are hiring wrong people. You can tell that through your communication skill. You can tell people to speed up the accounting treatment, for example, through your IT skill. You can also help people to prepare a proper accounting report so that they can have a proper output from the report that will show the right picture of the situation of the company. So yes, they are robots, but they are still human beings. As Allah clearly said, He created men and us to become the Khalifah of the world. So the space is still for us. A robot can become a robot, or however advanced, however intelligent they are. Some people you have to choose between artificial intelligence and the original. So of course you choose the original, not the artificial, right? Okay.
Okay.
What
Thank you,
different
sir.
career?
From Arfa Ali. Assalamualaikum, sir. What are the different career paths available to individual pursuing a career in accountancy?
You can become almost everything. No limit for you. No limit. You can even use the accountancy qualification as a wing for you to fly. Fly. It doesn't limit yourself. It doesn't limit. You can become anyone. If you can, you treat qualification is as part of entry level for you to enter a stadium. When you enter a stadium, you can play any games. Like you're going to pay a ticket into a circus or a fun park. That ticket is only for you to enter the fun park. When you are in the fun park, you play whatever games, you enjoy whatever whatever games available. Don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. All right.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I think there are 3 questions.
Okay.
Okay, so
We have until what time? Alia?
12.
11:15?
12, sir.
Oh, okay. Okay. A long way to go.
Okay.
All right.
Next question is, sir. From Nurul Amira. My second question is, as a Khalifah, what else can we do to show we are good Khalifah as an accountant, especially when we are just a normal position at work?
Sorry. As a Khalifah, what we
As a
supposed to do?
Khalifah, what else can we do to show we are good Khalifah as an accountant, especially when we are just a normal position in work?
Okay. Sometimes you can become the example. You can become the exemplar or the sample of the good people. You doesn't have to become a leader. You don't have to become a leader to be a good Khalifah. Sometimes people will just touched by the way how you behave. People will just like the way how you carry yourself. A good reminder when I was young, they said if you are not benefiting people, you don't cause problem to other people. That's the least. Kalau tak boleh membantu, jangan menyusahkan, you know, if I can say that in a word, in a Malay word. So just don't be part of the troublemakers, you know, and show a good example. Example by doing it is much better than by saying it or by just lauding it. Show example by doing it is last longer than somewhere that you read, because that's yourself, that's your original. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you have to be Khalifah when you are at top. No, you are Khalifah of yourself. You are Khalifah to your family, to your brother, your sister, your circle, your friends. A Khalifah on your own.
Okay, thank you, sir. There is 2 questions. From Shifa. Sir, what are some of the biggest challenges that professionals face in their accountancy careers?
Oh, a lot. A few that I can mention is that when you have to be involved in not become the chartered accountant, but you are the creative accountant. You know, there are two different things between the CFA, a chartered accountant, and a creative accountant. A creative accountant where you mix up the figures. You know, sometimes you've been asked by your top people to show more losses, or you're being asked by your top bosses to show more profit while the situation are reversed. So that is not easy to compromise. Sometimes you're also being asked to hide some figures. Sometimes you even asked to take bribe and to do many things. Accountancy has its own challenge, like other professional as well. So you don't. It comes with the qualification. It comes with your responsibility. Yeah, it doesn't just come with your title. So, however small, however big the challenge, take it seriously. Yeah, it can also affect your lifestyle. I know an auditor. Since we have some time, I know an auditor who almost give up of his life, because people know him as a very strict auditor. So when he make mistake, he miscalculated something that affected the whole company, and he was sued. The company was also declared bankrupt, and a lot of people were sacked from the company. He cannot take the pressure. He cannot look at people eyes, because to other people's eyes, he's a very perfect accountant. He's a very strict auditor. He's a very good financial controller. It took him some time for him to go back to the reality and say that mistake is a mistake, and this is a ujian from Allah for him, and wake up from there and become a stronger person. Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
thank you, sir. I'm sorry for the misinformation. Our session today and at 11:30, sir.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
so I will read the last question from
Right.
Hazika. Assalamualaikum, sir. In many online jobs advertisement for graduate accounting role, a lot of them require some work experience or some other requirement that is tied to having work experience. For new graduate, how could they get the work experience needed for most job posting if they could not get into the companies due to the requirement in the first place? How do new graduate gets around this catch-22? Where could new graduate start?
Okay.
This
I
question.
think part of your academic qualification, before you graduate, you are also required to do some internship or work attachment. That is also part of the exposure that would add colorful to your CV, right? Along the way, during the semester break, sometime make a point to volunteer yourself and to work somewhere, just to make sure that you have a colorful CV. If I can advise you, anak-anak, everyone, make sure that your CV is enough to entice people to see you. You know, CV is just that. Don't make it so complicated that people, when they read the CV, they saw that this is a very complicated person. Your CV must be something that would entice people to call you for an interview. Yeah, your CV must be nice, must be clean, must be neat, proper grammar and spelling and everything. When people look at it, because as the HR people, they receive thousands or maybe hundreds, if not thousands CVs. Looking at the qualification, if they want to put aside people with 3.7 or 3.8, that quite a normal result now from almost the graduates from the universities. Looking at age, looking at extra curriculum, they have a lengthy curriculum. You know, sometimes they also include the CV pemain kompang. I come across they put in the CV pemain kompang or whatever. But make sure that you have a very catchy CV that would enough people to consider you for an interview. So the interview is basically the door for you to move forward, not your CV. You know, sometimes when we interview people online, they don't really sit tight. They just keep on shaking during the interview. They start to move around like this. During the interview, they also have their phone like this. Okay, yes, all right. They answer the interviewers, but their hand are playing with the phone. We came across an interview session where accidentally, when the mic was unmute, we know that the boy is playing games during interview. So that doesn't show a correct perspective of you. So you must have a nice CV. You must demonstrate yourself properly during interview. Make yourself presentable. Make yourself enough people to trust you to try. That is just the beginning of everything. Yeah, that is just the beginning. And of course, Allah has already laid a path of your rizki in front of you. Ask your mother, ask your parent, your loved one to dua for you when you come for an interview. That helps a lot. All right.
Okay, thank you,
Azifah?
sir. I think I want you to answer the last question from
Okay.
Aiman Haldi. My
Oh, three
question,
questions from him.
yeah. The second question. My
Very
second
active.
question, sir. Is it possible to pursue a career as an accountant using simply an accounting certificate or diploma?
Uh, along the way, I'm sorry to say that Malaysia has been very advanced country where almost 70% of the people in the industry that are looking for jobs are at least having a degree. So you're going to have a very stiff competition if you only have a certificate or diploma. Yeah. It is better for you to climb a little bit higher to get a degree. I don't mind to share. I have a diploma when, as I said, 84 and 86. I study and get a degree when I was 30, 95, 99. I was doing my master when I was 45. Completed my master when I was 51. So, ilalahdi, ikra, study all the way, keep on add up your qualification. For a certificate and diploma is quite tough for you to compete in the industry, of course. But don't underestimate the risky arranged by Allah for you. But if you ask a plain question, go for a higher qualification and portray yourself in a better position, inshallah. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir, for answering all the questions. So our session for this morning is coming to an end. On behalf of the lecturers and students in WebEx, I would like to say thank you very much, Mr. Makhtar Abdullah, for addressing this interesting topic. Thank you for your time, and I hope Mr. Makhtar always in a good health. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Participant berapa ramai? The last figure. Oh, 163.
Wait,
Okay.
sir.
Alright.
163.
Okay. So on behalf of my team and myself, I have a team inside the room. They are the IT team that helped me to make me look nice. Okay. So thank you very much for the opportunity. Minta ampun, minta maaf if I've mentioned something that hurt your feeling or something which is unexpected. I have nothing to say to say bad things about everyone. Yeah, this is an opportunity that I will always enjoy to share certain things, and I learn a lot from you guys. Alhamdulillah. All the best for everyone. Yeah. And inshallah see everyone in another episode, inshallah. I don't know whether you want to take group photo or not. I don't know. It's up to you. We can go
Yes,
on
yes,
different
yes, sir.
take
Wait.
photo if you want. If you want.
Technical.
Mr. Makhtar, please wait.
Okay. Boleh.
Technical team.
Picture now.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So everyone take
Student, please. Your
open
video, turn on your video, please.
Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you to everyone who participate in this session, and please fill in the attendance in the link given at the chat box. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Wana. Thank you.
Thank you again, Mr. Makhtar.
Thank you, sir.